Now, let me say two things. I really, really wish I had time. I was hoping that I would get enough time in this forum. As always, Apostle Musili, I congratulate you. I have been following you from a distance. I've never come close to you. Today, I had the opportunity of shaking your hand and coming close to you. And listening to you for the time that you have spoken to us. It's abundantly clear to me that you are a very deep thinker and a very deep spiritual leader. And so, given that we are in charge, this is the right place to say what I'm about to say. You know, as ordinary people, or as Wananchi and those of us who are the leaders in the opposition, the opportunity God has given us now is to speak to you candidly and very sincerely. That is the role we have. We may not be able to act and do certain things, but I think we have a moral and spiritual responsibility to speak to you very sincerely. Because if there is any waking nightmare I have in my life, it's that question that we read in the Bible, that God will always ask you questions about responsibilities he gave you, whether they're in your family, whether they're in the flock that you read, or whether they are amongst your friends, such as these brothers of mine here in the opposition. And the people of Kenya would like to say this very sincerely, and I'm speaking from church, I will speak from the bottom of my heart. We have a date with destiny as a people in this country. I said yesterday, and I want to repeat it again. I had the privilege of serving as the Minister for Security in Kenya for 5 years. And I understand the security sector in this country like the back of my hand. I can tell from what we are seeing that we are actually losing the country to anarchy and we are sliding to chaos. I mean, people may not admit this and so on, but I want to discharge that responsibility by saying this openly and sincerely to you. We are losing the country. We are sliding to chaos as a country. And our leaders, when we say these things, we say them completely sincerely. Because we have a stake, all of us, whether you're in government or in the opposition, we have a stake in the country. When things go south, we will all suffer equally. It won't matter whether you're in government or you're in the opposition. When goons close the highway in the capital city of our country at 9 o'clock in the morning and rob people blatantly, like we saw the other day, you saw what happened in Keumbu on Friday. Linda Mwananchi leaders driving. There's nothing, they're all crime, just driving in your country. Because that is their country, driving in your country, along the road in your country. And they are stoned. Now, by this morning, 2 people have died as a result of that incident. And the stoning is happening right in the presence of police officers in uniform, across the road from a police station. Do you want to tell me we have a country really? Tunapoteza, we are losing our country. We are sliding to chaos. There are parts of this country, as I speak to you today, you will not go and hold a meeting if you don't pay a group of thugs 200,000 shillings, 100,000 and so on. Crime has been industrialized in our country to an extent that there are structures, who is the commander, who is the leader, and so on and so forth. Supervised by leaders, people who are in office. Because the incident that happened in Keumbu, you cannot tell me, because it's a few kilometers from Kisii town, that the county security team did not know, the county commissioner, the county commander, and the entire security team. Now, I have seen this morning, the police are acting, we will respect them because that is what they are supposed to do. But what do we tell the families that have lost 2 children senselessly in that kind of manner? Those thugs were welding batons, brand new batons, bought for them by a local politician. And surely, if the government has got resources to know, to read your WhatsApp and know that you are criticizing them and abduct you, where are those resources when someone is buying batons and pangas to go and kill Wananchi? Yeah. Where are those resources? Where is the intelligence when Wananchi are being treated in that kind of manner? Those in government, take advice from me for free. You might feel nice and you are seated in those offices, you are being guarded and so on. It can actually happen, and it will happen. Trust me, that when the country slides to chaos, you will also be a victim of those problems. So let's do the best we can. And I have followed, and yesterday my staff gave me last night a readout of some of the programs that you have here. Your deputy apostle who is running a program on Voices of Hope and the planned caravan of peace across the country. Actually, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, when this church runs that caravan of peace across the country, I am willing to participate, and I hope all of you, my brothers in the opposition, will be willing to work with Pastor Apostle Musili on that caravan of peace. So that we preach peace, we preach reconciliation to our country, living together. Finally, and if I had more time, I would speak on this, but I just want to ask all religious leaders, both those who are here and those who are not here in the country. You have a duty now of trying the best you can to mobilize us and call us back to humanity. Because these senseless killings you are seeing happening here, these abductions and so on, is like actually as a country, we have now entertained a cult that offers human life as sacrifices. There is no difference between those idols that we read in parts of the Bible who offered human sacrifices and how lives are being treated in the circumstances in which we are talking now. Our country has got serious problems. Two things that concern me most in that respect: how hate has become a weapon of political mobilization. Those of us here in the opposition, if we had time to tell you the wars that we go through and the treatment that we have been receiving, even from our fellow citizens who are in government. I was in Korea for a function last week with Kibiriti, where a public institution is ordered to actually deny services to a whole village for several hours just because I was there and I'm a leader from the opposition. You know, when you get to that kind of situation, the country is sliding to chaos and many other things which we don't want to profile and bore you with this morning. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, one, let's pray for our country. And let's pull together. The God who created us wants us to be together. Let us be together, love one another. And sometimes, I want to say this to you, sometimes it ought not to matter whether you are in government or in the opposition. We are Kenyans first and anything else second. So that hatred and that pain with which sometimes we are treated, you know, the government has taken this habit. When you see the things they say, for example, about Kalonzo or something like that, that intense hate, it ought not to be there. Politics is not war. And then the elections